In this video, you will examine how an organization designs security solutions for its infrastructure. The current cybersecurity environment at Contoso reflects its rapid growth, resulting from business-driven changes circumventing existing governance and security controls for the sake of expediency. Several business acquisitions, including the most recent one involving Tailwind Traders, further contributed to the fragmented technology landscape. There are no clearly defined hardware or software standards or existing third-party solutions that would provide a comprehensive centralized security solution. On-premises servers run a mix of different Windows OS versions and a range of more common Linux distributions. The existing cloud presence is limited to a small deployment of compute workloads at Tailwind Traders in the AWS public cloud. Remote users rely on VPN to connect to an on-premises virtual desktop infrastructure, or VDI, farmed from personal computers running Windows Client OS. An on-premises SIEM solution collects event log data. The presence of an Active Directory Domain Services, or ADDS environment, offers the basis for an integration with the Microsoft public cloud. That integration would constitute the starting point for incorporating a wide range of Microsoft security-focused products into the Contoso environment, with Microsoft Defender for Cloud serving the primary role in protecting the current and future infrastructure services. In order to integrate the ADDS environment of Contoso with the Microsoft public cloud, you must first provision an Azure AD tenant and implement Azure AD Connect on one of the on-premises Windows servers with direct connectivity to ADDS domain controllers. Azure AD Connect provides the integration between the two identity providers by synchronizing designated ADDS objects to Azure AD. This, in turn, facilitates the use of ADDS identities for the purpose of authenticating and authorizing access to Microsoft Cloud services, including Azure and Microsoft 365. The technology team at Contoso must address certain requirements in its design of the Azure-based solution for securing the company's on-premises and cloud infrastructure. The first two requirements are the assessment of the company-wide security posture and threat protection of the company's technology environment. The first step in implementing our solution in the newly provisioned Azure subscription is the setup of Defender for Cloud components. Defender for Cloud is the fundamental component of the proposed solution. It offers Cloud Security Posture Management, or CSPM, and Cloud Workload Protection Platform, or CWPP, as its two core capabilities. Basic CSPM features are enabled for free within each Azure subscription, yielding an immediate benefit to cloud-based workloads, including Azure VMs, SQL Server on Azure VMs, Azure App Service, Azure SQL Database, open-source managed relational databases such as MySQL and PostgreSQL, Azure Storage, Azure Container Instances, Azure Container Registry, Azure Kubernetes Service, and Azure Key Vault. Enhanced CSPM features and CWPP functionality are paid for, but they add significant value by further increasing the degree of protection available for Azure native workloads. CWPP features are enabled through its plans, such as Defender for Servers, Defender for SQL, Defender for Containers, Defender for Open Source Relational Databases, Defender for Storage, and Defender for App Service. Defender for Servers extends protection to Windows and Linux machines that run in Azure, AWS, and on-premises. It integrates with Defender for Endpoint to provide endpoint detection and response and other threat protection features. The full functionality of Defender for Servers depends on log collection, which requires installing either the Log Analytics agent or the Azure Monitor agent. Ensure at the planning stage that the target servers are running one of the supported operating systems for the chosen agent. The implementation plan should account for the need to install that agent. Defender for SQL helps discover and mitigate potential database vulnerabilities and sends alerts about anomalous activities that may indicate an impending threat. Defender for Containers helps with securing Kubernetes-based workloads running on-premises and in third-party clouds. Defender for Open Source Relational Databases brings a similar set of features to open source relational databases, including Azure Database for PostgreSQL, Azure Database for MySQL, and Azure Database for MariaDB. Defender for Storage detects unusual and potentially harmful attempts to access storage accounts. Defender for App Service assesses the resources that constitute app service plan-based workloads and generates security recommendations based on its findings. These resources include the VM instances on which your app service is running. Contoso would also benefit from onboarding its resources to Defender for Key Vault and Defender for Resource Manager. The next couple of requirements of the solution are to secure the on-premises and cloud computing resources of Tailwind traders and identify the security-related benefits of integrating of on-premises and third-party cloud resources with Azure. The majority of the benefits offered by enhanced CSPM and CWPP can be extended to on-premises and third-party cloud environments, which will help secure Tailwind traders' resources. In this particular case, you can, for example, deliver extra protection for resources hosted in the Tailwind Traders AWS account without having to deploy any agents by taking advantage of the native Cloud Connector. Native Cloud Connector provides an agentless connection to an AWS account, allowing Contoso to implement a range of Defender for Cloud's plans to secure their AWS resources. In particular, CSPM assesses AWS resources according to AWS-specific security recommendations and updates accordingly the security posture in the company's secure score. The Asset Inventory offers a unified view of all AWS resources. The regulatory compliance dashboards display the current compliance status with built-in standards specific to AWS, including AWS CIS, AWS PCI DSS, and AWS Foundational Security Best Practices. Microsoft Defender for Servers brings threat detection and advanced defenses to supported Windows and Linux EC2 instances. With Defender for Servers, Contoso will also benefit from its integration with Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. This will automatically deliver a range of new features, including risk-based vulnerability management and assessment, attack surface reduction, behavioral-based and cloud-powered protection, endpoint detection and response, automatic investigation and remediation, and managed hunting services. Microsoft Defender for Containers delivers threat detection and advanced defenses to Amazon EKS clusters. Azure Arc also helps deliver a similar set of Defender for Cloud capabilities to the Contoso on-premises data centers. To extend the cloud protection to on-premises machines, the company will deploy Azure Arc with Azure Monitor Agent and enable the Defender for Cloud's enhanced security features. Implementing Azure Arc in combination with Defender for Cloud will provide a unified view of the hybrid and multi-platform IT environment. This will facilitate identifying the security posture of all technology assets, which is a key design requirement. In addition, Azure Arc delivers such features as Azure Policy-Based Compliance Enforcement and Assessment, GitOps-based configuration management for containerized workloads, Azure Role-Based Access Control, or RBAC, for the control plane operations, and the use of VM extensions for maintaining desired state configuration of Windows and Linux servers. To further benefit from the Azure Native Management Services, Contoso will implement Azure Update Management, which is one of the solutions built into Azure Automation in order to address any gaps in patching existing on-premises servers. The same solution can be used to automate patching and inventory collection of Azure VMs and AWS EC2 instances. Two other requirements of the solution are securing the client devices used for remote access to the on-premises VDI environment and the on-premises VDI environment itself. The vulnerabilities of client devices used for remote access to the on-premises VDI environment, combined with the lack of an existing mobile device management solution, influences the choice of Microsoft Intune for the management of personal devices. Microsoft Intune allows for the enforcement of security-related features such as disk encryption, installation of software updates, and integration with Azure AD Conditional Access. Contoso will address the challenges associated with the on-premises VDI deployment by transitioning to Azure Virtual Desktop. An Azure ExpressRoute circuit will accommodate connectivity to any on-premises workloads that must be accessible from virtual desktops. The Azure Virtual Desktop is a modern solution that not only maximizes security, but also minimizes the operational overhead and maximizes resiliency. Azure Virtual Desktop uses reverse connect transport for establishing the remote session and for carrying RDP traffic. Unlike the on-premises remote desktop services deployment, reverse connect transport doesn't use a TCP listener to receive incoming RDP connections. Instead, it only requires outbound connectivity to the Azure Virtual Desktop infrastructure over the HTTPS connection, which makes it inherently more secure than the traditional VDI-based model. TLS 1.2 is used for all connections initiated from the clients and session hosts to the Azure Virtual Desktop infrastructure components. In addition, Azure Virtual Desktop natively integrates with Defender for Endpoint. For Windows Server operating systems with Microsoft Defender for Cloud enabled, Microsoft Defender for Endpoint is already included. For Azure Virtual Desktop hosts running Windows 10 or Windows 11 Enterprise Multi-Session Editions, Contoso can deploy Microsoft Defender for Endpoint directly. Once Contoso validates the functionality of the Azure Virtual Desktop environment, they can decommission their on-premises VDI farm. The final requirement of the solution is providing a SIM solution, which facilitates a single pane of glass view. Contoso will implement Microsoft Sentinel to centralize the collection of security logs and address the limitations of the on-premises SIM solution. This will provide the single pane of glass functionality for the company's security operations team. Microsoft Sentinel connectors, such as Microsoft Defender for Cloud, Azure Active Directory, Azure Activity, and Amazon Services will facilitate collecting and analyzing logs from every relevant asset in the Contoso environment. For example, Microsoft Defender for Cloud connector streams security alerts from Defender for Cloud into Microsoft Sentinel. This facilitates viewing, analyzing, and responding to Defender alerts, along with the incidents they generate in a broader organizational threat context. Besides the security information and event management functionality, Microsoft Sentinel also offers security orchestration, automation, and response, or SOAR. This will help Contoso optimize the use of its existing security operations resources by automating alert and incident handling, thus allowing them to focus on more relevant challenges. Following the deployment of Microsoft Sentinel and reconfiguring the on-premises log collection, Contoso will be able to decommission their on-premises SIM instance. These solutions together will help secure the company's technology environment for on-premises and cloud infrastructure.